What is up, everybody? Welcome to a special wet episode. We're taking it back to post-grunge. We're taking it back to early 2000s new metal. Today, we have our guest, Julian Purnell, and we're ready for another kick-ass episode of Metalology.
Welcome to the darkness. Listen to this podcast. Why you're
Fuck yeah.
What is up? What is up, guys? So, we have, like I said up top, we have a special guest today. Our, at this point, I would say a frequent guest of the Metalology lore. We have Mr. Julian Purnell. Julian, what is up, dude?
What is going on, Metalology? Thank you so much for having me back. I appreciate it. After the awesome episode that was for Baby Metal, I'm excited to talk about Stain, because I'll get into that later on, because the irony.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So real quick, we're going to introduce ourselves, and we're going to kick this motherfucker off. I am your host, Anthony Esparza, and to the right of me is my new right wing partner. Not right wing, my bad. On the right side of me, my boy.
For every right wing, there's a left wing.
What up, guys? It's Rudy. And in front of me is
The front wing over here, Jandro in the house.
Big balls, Jandro.
Big balls, Jandro.
Big balls,
Am I right?
Jandro.
El huevos gigantes.
Huevos gigantes for all you Spanish listeners.
And it's me, your boy, Bagi.
Bagi. Now, Julian, you had a question before we started recording. You had a question for Bagi. I don't know if you wanted to ask that.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
as the token white person of this episode, I just got to ask, where did the nickname Bagi come from? I've always wanted to know.
There's two different stories.
There's one story.
There's two different stories.
One story.
He's going to say there's one.
There is one.
When I say my story, you're going to be like, that makes way more goddamn sense because it's true.
Because it's a family
I'm
nickname.
gonna let you speak. Well, from what I've known you since you were 12,
yeah.
I've before you were 16, I've never heard not one person in your family ever call you Bagi.
Hold on. Andrea! Can you come here, please?
He's going to ask
Technically not my cousin, but family friend that I've known since she was born.
She grew up with you pretty much.
She grew up with me.
But I'm just saying,
Andy, I need you to verify something. Okay. The reason they call me Bagi is because when I was young, I tried to say my name, Alberto, and out came Bagi, and I would call everything Bagi, and that's how my name came about.
I can verify that everything that he just said is true. His mom would tell you that she calls him Bagi because the only word that he could say at a very young age was Bagi over and over again. You can go ahead and tell me why that's an invalid question, the way that he stated it, but I can confirm everything he just said.
Thank you.
because he coerced you into the answer. That's what happened.
I didn't
The way you asked them is, can you tell them how I got my nickname? Not tell them the story that I'm about to say for about 2 minutes, and then tell them that's true or not. You shut up. You've had your time.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you.
You had your time. You guys can find yourself a new DJ. Okay, we'll find a new DJ for the wedding. Okay.
Thank you, Andy.
Okay, now my story makes way more goddamn sense.
Okay, hear his story,
Julian.
So
So his story was basically you didn't know how to pronounce your name when you were young, so you said Bagi. That doesn't make sense because your name is Alberto, not Bagi. Bagi is a Middle Eastern nickname.
Yeah, but he couldn't say it.
Okay,
that's why he sounded.
Here's the story.
What is your story?
Here's my story. The person that's known him since he was 12. How old are you right now? Doesn't fucking matter. Over 20 years. Anyways, here's
34.
my story. So in high school, his name was Alberto. When I first met him, his nickname was Gamey because he played a lot of games.
I did.
Now that quickly changed because once we got into high school, Gamey sounds a lot like another insult that people used to throw up at each other. So and unfortunately, in 8th grade, 9/11 happened. And at the time, El Bagi had a bowl cut, very dark eyes. He looked like he was from Iraq. So what was your first nickname, Bagi? It was Iraqi.
Yes.
We called him Iraqi.
That's how I came to know him in high school, was Iraqi.
Yeah, we called him Iraqi up until 2007. I'm going to tell you why I say 2007. Because in high school, myself and Alberto, we had a band called Dason. No making fun of the name. We had a band called Dason, and in that band, that was the birth of my alter ego.
Snakes Caskets.
Snakes Caskets, that's right. I was a big Avenged Sevenfold fan, and I want to do stage names. So I was Snakes Caskets, right? Now, at the time, the second Pirates of the Caribbean movie came out. Dead Man's Chest, my favorite of the franchise. So El Bagi says, well, you know what my nickname is going to be? Davy Jones. Even though he didn't have a beard at the time. There are pictures of him on MySpace that say Davy Jones bass.
My EP says Davy Jones.
His EP. So when you say you don't recall, you better wisen the fuck up.
I don't recall.
Because
it was too long ago.
Okay, so it's Davy Jones. Now, what does this have to do with Bagi? Ask me. What
does this have to do with Bagi?
More aggressively.
What does this have to do with Bagi?
Thank you, Julian.
Yeah, thank you, Julian.
So when the third one came out, At World's End came out in 2007, correct? Correct. 2007. Yes. Okay. When At World's End came out, I love that movie. I watched it like so many times in the theater. Now, there's a specific scene in the movie where they're at the pirate council, the round table, right? And they're saying, I vote for Jack Sparrow to be the king of the pirates. And I vote for... And everyone's voting for themselves. And then the Middle Eastern pirates get up, and there's the little guy who wasn't talking the whole time. He says, Sisu Bagi votes for Sisu Bagi. Now, after that movie, I always said, you know what Bagi reminds me of? When he talks, he comes off like a Mike Tyson, because he can look intimidating, right? He can look intimidating.
Damn.
I haven't used this analogy in a long time. I always said he looks like he probably kicked the shit out of somebody, right? When you look at him, you're like, fuck. He opens his mouth, you're like, oh, you're like a cuddly bear.
He's
I
gonna
love you.
hug me.
So when I saw that scene, I was like, that's fucking Bagi. That's Alberto. So hey, you look like Bagi, Sisu Bagi, because the first nickname was Sisu Bagi, and then it morphed into Bagi.
I mean,
Bagi has always been around since before
the universe works
any
in
pirate.
mysterious ways.
Really? Rudy.
Yes.
What was the nickname you were introduced to him as?
Iraqi.
There you go.
But I met him during high school.
Jandro?
Iraqi.
Yes, but remember what I said.
I was gaming. Never Bagi.
Remember what I said. It's a family nickname. It's not a nickname I let you guys know about.
So that's the two stories.
Hey, so
that's the two stories.
I thought it was kind of funny that you could only say that one word. You were like a Pokemon pretty much, dude.
like
Literally,
a
you said one fucking word. That was
One
it.
word.
Damn.
Bagi. Bagi.
That's
Bagi.
I choose you.
Bagi. Bagi.
I am Bagi.
I am Bagi.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
So
I
believe
feel
whatever
like
story
that's
you
That's
want.
his origin story, and this is the.
They both make so much sense.
Yeah.
There you go. It's a multiverse.
He
of
dropped
madness.
something. I don't know what he dropped.
The Bagi verse.
My phone?
The Bagi
Vibrator.
verse.
my phone.
Your vibrator fell, bro.
My vibrator phone.
His butt plug.
All right, guys. So we're going to get into today's episode. Today
Yes.
we are talking about a band that at one time, one could argue, one of the biggest heavy rock bands in the world. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, they made a big
No.
imprint.
At a time.
I would say at the time,
Yes.
they were one of the, definitely one of
Yeah,
one of the
one of them.
top, right? Today we're talking about the boys in Stained. Aaron Lewis, Mike Mushak, and the two other guys I don't really remember the names of.
The boys.
This is a very interesting episode. I've talked about doing this episode for a long time. And just one of those bands I kind of knew off the bat that the gentleman sitting around me didn't listen to quite often, which normally never stops me from picking bands. But it's always like this or another band, this or another band. So I always go with the other band choice. Julian, our boy Julian, is the one who came up with the idea to do this band. And I said, you know what? I'm going to have Julian with me, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Okay.
I did?
You did? I thought you picked Stain.
Somebody picked Stain.
Tony. You picked
Tony.
Stained. I think. See.
You picked Stain because you gave me the two songs the honorary list. I'm not crazy, am I?
No. You told me that you wanted me to come on for Stained, and you asked me if I wanted to either make the playlist myself, and you said you wanted to make the playlist, so I said, okay, put these two songs in there. I never once said, hey, we should do an episode on Stained.
Fuck. You know what, dude?
Tony just wanted to do Stain.
Yeah.
I guess I just wanted to do
Yeah.
Stain.
Tony
Just
just
admit
wanted to
it,
do
bro.
Stain.
You love Stain.
It's been a
Don't
long
put that
month.
shit on me, bro.
It has been
Bobby.
a long
Don't
month.
associate me with that garbage.
I'm like, dude. Yeah, I'm like looking back at it right now.
Oh my god, that's great.
Out of
Oh,
all the
man.
bands from that time period, what made you think I would choose Staind when my thoughts on Staind and Aaron Lewis
You are correct.
well documented?
You are correct. Wait, hold on.
documented.
You said to me, just saw the Stain post. I'd love to do a Metalology episode with you guys on them because, man, I got some stuff to say about them. I was thinking about doing a Stain episode already, haha. And you were like, if you ever plan on doing it, so you're the one that said you would love to do a Stained episode with us. I got it right here. I got it.
Maybe not.
I got
for
it
the
right
music.
there.
I guess.
Right there. It's right there, Julian.
Julian's like, it's not for the
I
music.
can't
though.
see the screen, so I can't see that it's there. So you have no proof.
I'll send you a screenshot. Anyways, all right. So either way, we're doing a Stain episode today. The playlist for this episode I curated, but Julian did add 2 songs on his own. He recommended 2 songs to be on the playlist. So I said, fuck it, let's do it. So just as a heads up to everybody tuning in for this episode, we are just doing heavy Stain songs. We're not doing It's Been a While. We're not doing Outside. We are specifically doing the heavier Stain stuff.
Been a while.
So just a heads up.
Heavy.
But before we get started,
Heavy.
heavy. I don't understand like how you guys don't think the songs I chose were not heavy. Like I don't get that. It's low tuned. It's lower than most of the shit you guys listen to, and that means a lot when it comes to heaviness.
Just because something's low tuned doesn't mean it's gonna be heavy.
No, that's not true.
True.
That is not true. If something is tuned low, it is heavy. That is the concept of heavy metal, Bagi.
I don't.
When Tony Iommi created
I
heavy metal,
don't-
he had to
I
tune
don't
his
believe
guitar
in that.
lower so that he could
Tony
pick the
Iommi?
strings. Huh?
Tony Omi? That's what you said?
Tony Iommi. So Tony Iommi. In Spanish, it's Iommi. In regular
oh,
English, it's Iommi. I get it. Okay,
I
whatever.
was
I say
confused there for a
Iommi.
second.
All right.
All right, so it's tuned lower. Yes, I think if to be heavy, you have to be tuned
First
lower.
track for sure is heavy.
Okay, but either way, I'm gonna play these songs, and you, Rudy, you're gonna look me cold in the eye, and you're gonna tell me
What?
that is not a heavy riff.
It probably
Yeah,
is.
it probably is heavy,
You're gonna
but
look at me, you're gonna be like, that's not.
okay.
'cause he
See,
says
I
heavy.
think my definition of heavy is different than your definition.
Yeah, I like chugging, and I like low tuned guitars, and
Everyone has their own idea of what heavy
Yeah,
is.
like I mean the actual instruments, yes, but then once I hear his voice, it's not heavy to me no more.
Oh, I don't really count the voice when it comes to heaviness too much.
Okay, well,
Like I think Alter Bridge is heavy as fuck, but he never does.
okay, well, see, check this out. With this playlist, like I said, I only got through 2 songs.
We're
and
gonna,
then-
we gonna get you through the rest.
so
of them.
we'll see, but yeah, we'll see.
As you can see, there's some tension going on already. We're getting a little tension going on.
Oh, boy.
We're fighting back. We're fighting back this week. We're taking the throne back. Tell him.
And I'm added into it.
And Julian's here to witness it all firsthand.
Miss it all
Uh,
burned down.
So before we get started, we're gonna do today our underground band of the week.
Mm-hmm.
This week is my pick. So I am picking a local band called Silent Vice. They're probably my new favorite local band. Really dig their music. They are. I don't want to read too much about the bio. I'm just going to talk about my experience with them. We've actually played a show with them a while ago, and I didn't get to
Nice.
catch their set. I normally don't catch their band sets. I'm too busy with my anxiety. But I remember I came across an ad of theirs not too long ago, and I was like, "Oh, this actually sounds really good." And they started showing up on my TikTok, and they're doing really well on TikTok. They're doing really well on Spotify. And I was like, you know what? It'd be really cool to showcase a local San Diego band that is actually doing really well. Like, that's something that I really wanted to do. That's why I don't normally do, like, the free shout-outs for the homie bands. I think these guys do need to get shouted out. And just to, like, let our, you know, for I guess, for the context, Silent Vice currently has 16,200 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Damn.
Their song Echostasis, which is the song I'm going to play on here, is 178,118. So just 10,000 more streams than our song Vicious, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
But they're doing very well. I wanted to shout them out and just hear their music. I think it ties in really well, actually, with the style of this episode, too.
Nice.
So this is their song Echostasis from the band Silent Vice.
When you walked in the door.
right, so that was Silent Vice with Echostasis. Yeah, my a band I listen to a lot more frequently now. Definitely, probably my favorite current San Diego band. They're a 4-piece, which I think is pretty cool considering they have like heavy sonics to their sound. Yeah, I really dig the singer's voice. It reminds me of something I would listen to, when I was like 13, 14 years old. Like it's nostalgic, but I think the songs are really well written too. So
It's a little like Seven Dust.
yeah, a little bit. I know that they get compared a lot to like A Perfect Circle,
Yeah.
stuff like that, like a lot of Maynard, like a lot of like that kind of
The
style.
singing is very much a little bit like Deftones-y.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Lil Trino, yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little glimpse of that.
Okay.
That's cool.
So what do you guys think of Silent Vice?
It's chill.
I like them. They're
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Really good.
Rudy.
This is meh.
It's man.
Yeah, I'll give you that, man. I mean,
Okay.
it's cool, but I mean, it's definitely not something I'd ever listen to. This reminds me a lot like Tool, and I'm not a fan of Tool whatsoever.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense then, because
Yeah.
they do
Fair.
get they get compared to the singer of Tool a lot, or the vocalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See that?
Well, I really dig them, so I just
Like,
wanted to shout them out on the
This is
podcast.
like super chill music, like chill, like
Yeah.
you know.
This is like when you got her naked on the bed. You're like,
Oh.
what am I gonna put on right now?
Yeah.
I'm either gonna put on Gore Guts, or I'm gonna put on
Ooh.
Silent Vice. And me,
gonna
being
go-
I know you probably would be Gore Guts for you.
Oh yeah, because that's what you're gonna be doing.
Yeah, you're gonna be tearing up
Mhm.
guts.
In
Not
those
me.
guts.
I'm gonna be silent.
Oh yeah.
Shh. You're working it.
Silent but deadly.
Well, how about you, Bagi?
I would probably go with the Gore Guts on
Okay,
this one.
okay.
There
So, anyways, big shout out to our boys in Silent Vice. Hope to be playing a show with you guys soon. And you guys
Yeah.
go check them out. All right, now time to do what we all came here to do. We are talking about Stain. I'm going to read a quick excerpt from the band's Wikipedia page to give our listeners context as to the band we are talking about. Stained, pronounced Stained, is an American rock band from Springfield, Massachusetts, formed in 1995.
Oh,
The
Springfield.
original lineup, not a Simpsons reference, the original lineup consisted of lead vocalist and rhythm guitarist Aaron Lewis, lead guitarist Mike Mushock, bassist and backing vocalist Johnny April, and drummer John Wysoki. The lineup has been stable outside of the 2011 departure of Wysoki, who was replaced by Sal Giancarelli. Stain has recorded and released 8 studio albums: Tormented in 96, Dysfunction 99, Break the Cycle 2001, 14 Shades of Grey 03, Chapter 5 in 05, The Illusion of Progress in 08, Stained in 2011, and the most recent album, Confessions of the Fallen, 2023. The band was most successful in the early 2000s, with Break the Cycle going 5 times platinum in the United States and producing a top 5 Billboard Hot 100 hit with its lead single, It's Been a While. Break the Cycle, along with the band's
Been a
following
while.
2 full-length... We're not playing that song.
Don't get too excited.
Break the Cycle, along with the band's following 2 full-length albums, also topped the Billboard 200, and the other 2 after peaked within the top 5. Several of their other singles became rock crossover hits, including Fade, For You, Price to Play, So Far Away, and Right Here. The band's activity became more sporadic into the 2010s, with Lewis pursuing a solo country music career and Mushock subsequently joining the band Saint Asonia. All right.
Yeah.
So, today we're talking about Stained.
Mhm.
Now we're going to hold off on opinions until the playlist because we want to make sure we catch them fresh. But I just want to know, how were you guys introduced to Stained? What made you catch your ear? Maybe you just heard of them and never heard their music. I just want to know, how did you first hear of Stained? Julian, because you are the guest, we're going to start with you.
Okay, so I first heard about Stained through a YouTube channel called WatchMojo.com.
Oh, shit.
And they did a video of the top 10 new metal bands or influential new metal bands, and Stained were an honorable mention for some reason. And the song was, of course, It's Been a While, so I was like, okay, I want to check out all the bands. So I listened to Stained, I listened to It's Been a While and Outside, and I'm just like, this is new metal? So yeah, I've kind of been off and on with Stained ever since then, but I don't listen to them regularly, but we'll get to that later on.
Got you. Cool. Julian, just for the record, how old are you?
I am 23.
Okay, so this this shows a big generational gap, because when I was like, oh, you heard of Stain through Watch Mojo, because I watched Watch Mojo.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I remember when the company Watch or the creators of Watch Mojo, they were originally part of I Love the 80s. Remember on VH1?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they were a part of all that, and I remember like watching all that when it came out. Anyways, so that was interesting to hear. You found Stain through Watch Mojo. That is cool,
Of all places, yeah.
right?
Very.
Because we're all old as fuck. We were there. we were there.
Geriatric as fuck.
Geriatric as fuck. All right, Alberto, how did you hear of Stained?
Mudshovel.
Okay.
Okay.
The song. I heard it. I liked it. Then I heard it's been a while, and I was like, you know what? This is okay with me.
I just also want to point out that the way Bagi got into music was very similar to how like the newer generation gets into music. Because Bagi, you didn't listen to a lot of like rock radio or didn't watch like a lot of MTV
Oh no!
before Headbangers Ball, of course.
I would just Gino introduced me to Gino or you, I don't know. You guys introduced me to Rock 105.3, and then I would I had a CD player that like you could listen to radio stations on.
Yeah.
So sometimes I would like listen to the radio stations like at school, like before everyone got there or whatever. And then I was just like, I think one time I heard they were Rock 105.3 was playing Mudshovel. What?
No, I'm just checking. Keep talking.
Oh, I heard Mudshovel on there. I was like, this is awesome. I like this. And that's literally how it happened.
Oh, okay.
Through pretty much radio.
Got you. I'm sorry. I just wanted to catch Rudy a little bit more on the camera because I feel like I'm blocking him right now. All right, Alex, Jandro, how did you hear about Stain?
I don't remember. I don't remember what exactly, but obviously it's been a while. You know what I mean? That must have come on somewhere. But I remember back in high school because we my first band was called Drained. Like for all the years that we were in this band, like I would always hear about, like Stained.
Yeah.
Because we would spell it.
Because it was the fucking same. That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we spelled it Draind. Which I.
Wow.
Yeah, I put it up on Spotify recently, and yeah, it always got that. Oh, IND. Oh, like Stained. I'm like, yeah, yep. But obviously we didn't sound like that. But yeah, I don't know exactly like per se, but for sure high school is when I found that out. So like around like 04 maybe
Jesus.
05.
All right. Rudy, how did you hear about Stained?
I mean, it's kind of impossible not to hear that band name. I mean, I can't recall the exact, moment I heard of them, but, I'm sure word of mouth. But, yeah, dude, probably like in high school, but I never really listened to them though. Like I can't name you one song name. And actually right now when we got here, when Brandon was like, oh, that one It's Been a While song, I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was them.
That is hilarious.
So that's my as
For your
a
background.
butch, like I'm not really into Stained.
I like this isn't a slide. I just think it's so hilarious. Like so Rudy is in a lot of ways is like our heavy metal encyclopedia, but when it comes to like mainstream acts, like I'm very surprised that a lot of times you're like, I heard one song or I barely know them. I'm like, but he's so knowledgeable about like other metal. It's fucking hilarious. That's why you have me here. That's why you have me here because we balance each other out.
Definitely.
Yeah. So Stained for me was it was on a mixed CD. A friend of mine gave me, not a friend of mine, actually it was my therapist. I've been talking about this a lot lately. So my therapist used to burn us music, and he had burnt me, when I told him I was getting into rock music, he burnt me like a mixed CD of like Incubus, Deftones, Limp Bizkit, stuff like that. And Stains It's Been a While was on there. So I asked him like, oh, who's that band? And he burnt me Break the Cycle. And this was pretty much right around the time the album had came out, and then I discovered Rock 105, and then found like 5 more Stain songs that I liked. So I got real into Stain for a while. I was really into Stain for a few years. Yeah, so that's how I heard of him. I've told the story about like I went through childhood trauma, so we were talking with a therapist, and the therapist was doing like kind of seeing how my brother and I were being receptive to music, and so he introduced me to a lot of like that very early 2000s era new metal bands, Korn, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, all that stuff. So Stained was one of those bands. So don't really want to dig in too far into that story because I've told it 1,000 times. All right.
Just a million.
Just a million.
Yeah,
Just a million. All right. So we are going to get into it. we're gonna get into the playlist. I curated this playlist myself with 2 recommendations from Julian, which are at the end of the playlist because they're from the newest album. Starting off, you guys all might recognize the song. I know when I was playing it during the testing, Jandro was, look at that smile on his face. God damn. Like they all gave me like really stained, and then I look at Alex like ugh, and I play this song and he's like, fuck yeah.
Ooh.
I'm like, damn. All right.
Like, I know this shit.
Yeah,
I know
I'll
this
talk
song.
more about it after.
Okay, so this is actually the first big single that Stained ever released. This was off their second album, Dysfunction, that came out in '99. This is Mudshovel. God, let me. God. Come on, Rudy. Let me see you bob a little bit. Come on. Go.
Little harmonic.
That's a heavy bass. I just want to say that is a heavy bass.
You just can't help but headbang to the song.
Right? For my homie Aaron Lewis. So I'm just for the heaviness sake of it, I'm gonna fast forward to the. I used to call it the death metal part.
Yeah.
You know what part I'm talking about.
Mudshovel.
It was like the heaviest part on any song on rock radio at the time.
Yeah.
There you go. Let that get in your system. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mudshovel to kick off the podcast off of Stain's album Dysfunction. This is 1999. Whew. All right, Julian, thoughts on Mudshovel?
Yeah, you stated yourself, this is 1999, and judging by the sound quality and production, it sounds like it was made in 1999. Shit.
It's a little rough, a little Ross Robinson-y.
Raw.
But I'll definitely say, like, I listening to albums like this, like not even just like Mudshovel, but like Raw and stuff like that, I come to appreciate how far we've come in like production quality, because like that first Stain record does not sound the best, but like as much as I have a lot of like disdained for Aaron Lewis, the song is not bad. It's still not bad.
Yeah. Alberto, thoughts on Mudshovel? Being the bassist
I like it.
of Defy the Tyrants.
Being the
And this is a very bass-centric song.
Very basic.
I like it.
No, it's like one of my favorite Stain songs just because of the bass. It's like one of the constants in this song. I like it a lot. It's really good.
All right. Jandro, thoughts on Mudshovel?
So when I went through their catalog, like, I don't know, probably in my 20s. I feel old now, but this song like just like stuck out to me, and it's been in my, not all my playlists, but I have like 2 playlists. I have one that's just called Jandro. That's kind of like the best of, you know. This is what I sent out to the girls back in the day if you want to get to know me. But yeah, this song would always fucking be there. It's just like this emo fucking just angsty, depressive, you know. Whenever I'm in a certain mood, you know what I mean? This is like a soundtrack, right? You know, it's a soundtrack to my sorrows maybe. But yeah, it's
Whenever I turn down one of your songs.
Yeah.
Like,
I
God,
just-
fuck, he turned it down. I gotta listen to Mudshovel.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, fuck
guys.
you, Tony.
Yeah, yeah. You'll go in the left corner listening to like Faith No More. I go in the right corner listening to Mudshovel.
Right.
Yeah, but no, it's.
I'll look over it. What's wrong with Alex? Turn down his song. I'm like,
Yeah.
the fuck you, Tony.
I took
you, Tony.
I took his solo. Oh man,
God.
that did happen. But
That happens more often than
that did
not.
happen. But
Still happens to this day, I bet.
to this
Oh, yeah.
day. Oh yeah. Yeah, man. It's just. It's worthy of my fucking emo playlist for sure.
Cool.
There we go.
Rudy, thoughts on Mudshovel?
You know, I actually like the production of it. That old sound, dude. I mean, I like a lot of albums that have that raw type of production sound.
Like the analog tape kind of vibe.
But I mean, from what stuck out for me in this song was, I believe it's the guitar, dude. Like
Yeah.
whatever fucking pedal or effect he's using.
Yeah, so I had always wondered, like, because this song came out when I started playing guitar. So I was like, what is he doing? And then, like, years later, like, I'm just listening. I think I was in my, like, 20s listening to it one day, and I was like, oh, he's just hitting the harmonics.
Yeah.
So he's just, like, lightly putting his finger on the fretboard, hitting that low E, and just go.
Yeah, it's
that's all he's
super-
fucking doing. It's so sick.
Yeah, that shit sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Simplicity.
Simplicity.
I've always loved this song. This is one of my first like favorite Stain. In fact, I remember I got into them so young that when I bought the Break the Cycle album, I thought this song was on there. So I was actually pretty pissed it was. I didn't know about. There's different albums. What the fuck? Like Britney Spears. I didn't know about that shit yet. Don't make fun of me. I've always loved this song. Yeah, it definitely is an angsty song. To me, it's always like the ex-girlfriend song, right? It's always
Yeah.
like that. And you take away, you know.
for sure.
I always, because you said emo, I have a very different. Like for me, emo is like My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
So-
I don't listen to emo per se, but
Yeah.
to me, emotional. You know.
Yeah, this is definitely more in that like angsty, like new metal
For
kind
sure.
of vibe.
Yeah.
Like where the songs it could be about an ex-girlfriend, it could be about a parent, it could be about whoever. Like it's so generalized.
I love that because then you just fill in the blanks.
Yeah, and I love that the song is so simple. It just rides that harmonic. It's like 3 notes on the bass, that main riff, and that fucking drum. That the beat's just riding that hi-hat like more than half the song. He's just
Yeah.
riding it. And I love like the little death metal part too. You can obviously see where Disturbed came from because this was, I think, 2 years before Disturbed's first record. So that breakdown always reminds me of the breakdown in Voices and in Down with the Sickness. It has like that. Doom, 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 roar. You know?
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that was Mudshovel. We're gonna move into the next song.
Alrighty.
All right, guys. So next song we are looking at is off of the band's best-selling record, Break the Cycle. This is the one everybody kind of, whether you introduced to Stained or you know about them. This is their Black album. This is their big breakout record. I went with the title, not the title track, the first track off the album. This was 2001, Open Your Eyes. Come on, Jandro. It's a sick beat.
It's very vibey.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm not gonna lie, the drummer is killing it on this song.
Oh yeah. They're- This is one of their better choruses, if you ask me.
All right, so that was Open Your Eyes
Yeah.
from the opening track to Break the Cycle. All right. Julian, we'll start with you. Thoughts on Open Your Eyes?
This is probably like out of all the songs off Break the Cycle, it's probably my favorite one. The musicianship I think is fine. I think it's great, but for me the verses kind of just throw off the flow a little bit because I kind of like that just heaviness. The dan 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 dan. Like I love the guitar parts. Because we were just talking about Mike Mushak. He, in my opinion, is the best member of this band, if you ask me, because his guitar parts just blow me away.
Yeah.
And this song pretty much describes it. And it's one of the... I kind of said it when we were talking about in the song. It's one of their better choruses.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much all I really got to say. It didn't give me a lot to talk about, but the guitar parts are great and decent chorus. So.
Got you. All right, so we'll go with Bagi. Thoughts on Open Your Eyes?
It's all right, to be honest. I don't know. It's just the style is like something I've heard, but obviously it's like been more, since it came out to now, it's like a good almost 20 years.
Yeah, like there's more bands
There's
now
more bands
that have
now
this influence.
That have this influence that, production sound better, but I mean at the time, this was good. It was heavy at the time. It's just now I hear it, I'm just like,
not as heavy.
Yeah, it just sounds like dad rock.
Yeah, I mean,
there we go.
Dad rock
Very
can be heavy
much.
too.
Yeah.
So the idea of dad rock to me, it is infuriating because it is like, well, yeah, something's dad rock, but that doesn't mean it can't rock.
No, exactly.
It's like it is an insult. Like it is like, oh, that's fucking butt rock. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but it still slaps.
No,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's.
But I think that term is used more in like an insulting way.
It
Some
is.
bands do
I
own
guess,
it. Some bands do
yeah.
own that shit. But like for me, I always take it like insulting. I'm like, it's not dad rock. Fuck you. Well, of course it's dad rock. All the motherfuckers who grew up with that are dads now. Like, I don't know. It's funny.
I mean, yeah, I get it, but
I understand the point though.
Yeah, it's just like it's like, because I don't want to say it's outdated because it may be outdated in a sense, but like it's still, I don't know. It's still
Still slaps.
It still slaps, and it's just like one of those things of like,
Well, this song too is a very good example of where like radio metal went because up until this early 2000s, if you were radio metal, you either had a little bit of thrash or a little bit of like new or a little bit of something else. Something happened in the early 2000s with bands like Nickelback, Creed, Seether, Stained, all these like post grunge kind of metal bands that weren't exactly new metal. Like Godsmack wasn't exactly new metal.
yeah.
But they influenced almost every band in the 2010s at that point. Like
No,
every
yeah.
band in the 2010s,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
you look at Skillet, you look at 3 Days Grace, like those bands all came from these. See, he's rocking what is that, 3 Days Grace shirt? Oh, fuck John Cooper, yeah. Fuck Skillet. Yeah, I fucking hate Skillet.
That's awesome.
I'll talk about why I have the shirt on later on.
Hell yeah. But all the bands, like this style was very, very influential on 2010s bands, and I would argue even what we have right now with bands like Bad Omens and stuff, where the heavy stuff comes from the metal stuff, but the rock part, the rock influence parts come from this era. Like this is that more rock version of Wage War and Bad Omens. This is what they grew up on, and they apply to their music. Obviously, you have synths and electronics everywhere too, but this is where that core sound came from.
Makes sense.
So-
I mean, Wage War literally did a cover of "Saving Me" by Nickelback
Hell
for
yeah.
Sirius XM. So you're right. Like a lot of these bands at that time have influenced many of the bands that we have nowadays for the next generation. So you're
Yeah.
right.
It kind of hurts because it's like, wow, I'm that old now. Where the bands I grew up with, like, because I remember being young, and we were like, oh, AC/DC and Iron Maiden, like those bands are old. Iron Maiden and Judas Priest, and then we're over here, and the 20 years before we got into music, that's what was hot, and now here we are, and it's like, oh, Stained and Limp Bizkit and all that's all old. I'm like, fuck you guys,
It
dude.
hurts hearing that
It
shit,
hurts
man.
so much. We're gonna go with Bagi. You talked about the song, Jandro. Let's get your thoughts on "Open Your Eyes."
It's not as like fucking powerful as I don't, honestly, none of the songs that you will play after will be as powerful to me as Mudshovel is, right? That's just a bias thing, but this one, still cool. Like
But you said you didn't listen to the playlist.
Huh?
You said you didn't listen to the playlist.
No, I know, but remember, like I went through their catalog and I looked for stuff that I liked, and Mudshovel was like the only thing
That's
I pulled
weird.
out.
Okay.
But not to say that when you were playing this song, like what gave it away for me was the doo-doo-doo. Like I was like, I remember going through their albums and hearing this shit.
Yeah.
It's not a bad song. It's like a 7. Like a hard 7 out of 10 kind of song for me. But
Oh no, the ratings are back.
The ratings are back. Thank you, Julian.
Yeah. I didn't want.
I was kind of hoping he forgot about the ratings.
No, I remember.
Oh.
Mudshovel's
Give
I
it a
just-
6.7 and a half.
I just don't know what your rating.
I didn't want to say 10 out of 10 for Mudshovel because
We're gonna get you like a rating board that clearly expresses why you're rating things in a certain way.
I will detail it what every rating means.
Please
Hell
do.
yeah.
But yes, this is a hard 7. Like Julian says, the fucking chorus is pretty good.
What would you do?
I do like the bass in the verse.
Mhm.
Kind of continues off the Mudshovel, whereas like the notes that they're playing, it's not
Yeah.
conventional notes. Like, you know what I mean? They're not. I don't know. I like it when like basses or anyone like plays fucking like notes like that are supposed to carry a song, right?
Yeah.
But instead they're kind of moody and they're kind of like dark and dissonant, like so.
Yeah, I would argue Johnny April, the bass player for this band, is kind of the unsung hero of the band because
You
they
ain't
have
kidding.
a great rhythm section.
Yeah.
like their rhythm section is point blank, like
For
it is
sure.
on fire. But
Yeah, so this song is just consistent of that, like coming from Mudshovel. I was like, oh yeah, he's still fucking ripping it, So
Yeah.
so yeah, it's a good one.
cool. Rudy, thoughts on Open Your Eyes?
So far for me, the only thing that really stands out for me is the guitar work.
Yeah.
The guitar, like that pitching that he did with this song, dude. It's pretty. It stands out.
Yeah.
But
The harmonics
besides
are
that-
great, man.
yeah. But besides that, man,
Got you. Yeah, I've always loved this song because that main riff, that dun 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 dun,
Yeah, that part.
that always reminded me of like Machine Head, like Davidian.
Yes.
And it's for a long time, guitar playing wise, my guitar playing,
Yeah,
doing the natural harmonics was like my thing.
part of it.
I love to do it. I haven't done it too much in Defy, but I want to. I definitely want to do some more.
for sure.
Yeah, when we first started, I definitely had some. There was the Tony riff. It was like, oh yeah, of course he played that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've always liked this song. Lyrics haven't aged as well because they are about like the world's so fucked up and pay attention, open your eyes, and it's cool. It's like, okay, I'm getting the message, but then we get to the second verse, and you begin to see the conservative side of Aaron Lewis. This is where the lyrics go, where I'm like, okay, I'm kind of seeing like early right wing Trump supporting Aaron Lewis here, because I'm just gonna read the the verses. So the first verse is, as I walk through these streets, I see a man who walks alone. Distant echo of people's feet, he has no place to call his own. A shot rings out from a roof overhead, a crackhead asks for change nearby. An old man lies in an alleyway dead, a little girl lost just stands there and cries. That's like he's painting a picture, and you're like, oh, this is a cool story, right? He's just walking through an alley and everything's fucked up. Then we get to the second verse.
Obama.
Obama.
free money.
A boy, just 13, on the corner for sale, swallows his pride for another hit. Overpopulation, there's no room in jail, but most of you don't give a shit. Here's the part where that your daughters are porno stars and your sons sell death to kids. You're so lost in your little worlds you'll never fix. So that your daughters are porno stars and your sons sell death to kids.
Dude, he was talking about OnlyFans before OnlyFans.
That's, I mean, well, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where the liberal side of me is like, well, what's wrong with your daughter being a part? Is she making money? Is she buying a house? Is she, live? She's gonna do it for 10 years and then she's gonna start her own business and then she's gonna, probably, I don't know.
Yeah, retire early.
I don't think there's a problem with, if I'm.
If you had a daughter, would you support her?
No, I would not. I would not. But if you had a daughter, I would.
Well, see, then there you go. I mean,
That's
like,
a difference.
yeah, I mean,
He's not saying my daughter's a porno star. He's saying your daughter's a porno star. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
but
why
it's-
is that any of your fucking business?
yeah.
You better fucking support my daughter.
You better support. Here's some lotion.
we should clarify that they're of age.
They're of
They're
age. yes,
of
they're
age.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
And
just gotta
then-
get that in there because some people might take that the wrong way.
Yeah, we have to say that they are of age. And then with the whole your son sell death to kids, when he was asked in an interview, I remember it was a very specific interview early on. What do you mean by that? He said, well, people who sell like weed to kids. And I'm like,
It's not
well, I mean,
Come on, man.
I know
Come on, man.
I know people that sold weed to high school students, and they're all right. Like, they're not the worst people in the world. Like, there's worse people. To me, it's like, okay, so that none of that's apocalyptic. You think of everything else like, oh, everything's fucking up, but then you get to that, it's like, is that really that big of a deal though? Like, is that?
Yeah.
That sounds more like a family problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that doesn't sound like a societal problem. Anyways,
You can tell.
so the lyrics to me haven't aged very well, but I do dig the song. So we're
Yeah,
gonna move into the next one.
That was always a big issue with. That's always just a big issue with Aaron Lewis's like writing. He was never really the best writer, and that those lyrics specifically really show you that he was never really the best writer ever.
Yeah, agreed. We're gonna move into the next song. This one is off of the album 14 Shades of Grey that came out in 2003. This is the opening track. This is Price to Play. That bass is just riding those heavy notes.
Once got to the bridge, I started liking it a little bit more.
So I'm gonna play that main riff real quick. And what does this remind you of?
Off of each other.
It's like one starts on the opposite end, but they meet in the same.
So I've always said that because
who was that?
That was Godsmack Straight Outta Line. That was the first single off the album Faceless that came out before 14 Shades of Grey, and it also came out in 2002. Came out for the Scorpion King soundtrack. Well, the album came out around the same time as the Scorpion because they had a single with it. So I've always said that Aaron Lewis ripped that fucking, or somebody in that band ripped that fucking riff off. They did an interview and they were like, they didn't answer the fucking question. I was like, oh, these motherfuckers, dude. So anyways, thoughts on Price to Play? We're going to start with Julian.
I gotta tell you, like, once the intro started, I was like, okay, I can kind of get into this, but then right when the verse kicked in, I'm like, oh, like, you probably saw my face, like, oh, no. But then once, like, the pre-chorus starts coming, I'm like, okay, it's getting better, and then the chorus, again, like, the thing is, again, the amount of disdain I have for this band and for their singer, when they get heavy, they're not terrible when they go heavy. So I gotta give them that. But it's just those when the verses come in, my heart literally sinks.
Yeah, this song, I remember when it came out, I always thought that beginning riff was heavy, and the rest of the song just goes like hard rock from there. Mm-hmm. But I started to realize, oh, this is a formula that the band has, where they usually have that really heavy intro riff,
Yeah.
and then the rest of the song is just hard rock. And then it comes back, and the rest of the song is hard rock. I think that's a formula that a lot of bands took with them. Like, okay, we're just going to be softer in the verse. We're going to be kind of heavier in the chorus, and then we're going to have that intro riff come back around. Anyways, Bagi, your thoughts on Price to Play?
I like this song. That song is one of my favorite choruses ever. So from them at least. Like I really dig that chorus. Like when I hear that chorus, I'm like, yes.
All right.
But it's a good song. Like I said, it feels like old.
It feels old. I just want to say I appreciate you not rubbing your belly button in front of me tonight. I did notice. Did you notice that? He's
What?
rubbing the side. He's not playing with his belly
rubbing my
button.
goddamn
He
phone.
made-
Tempted,
he
but-
made
My
it-
belly button's right here.
He made
My
sure to
phone.
pick on
I
all
know where
the
your belly
links.
button is because you do it consistently in front
Yeah,
of me.
he
but-
has all the lint behind him, like all bunched up in the corner.
Oh,
Like
okay.
he already took it out before the show.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Little voodoo
you
doll.
guys.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
Voodoo doll.
Voodoo doll made of lint.
I made him masturbate.
Ooh.
Oh, stained. Oh.
God damn.
Jandro, thoughts on price to play?
Not as strong, as the other two for sure. And yeah, like totally true. Where it's like, okay, you just have the main riff be heavy enough, you know what I mean, to be in that category, right? But then like it just sounds like, rock or whatever. So yeah, I'd say like it's
Radio.
a hard 5 out of 10.
Gotcha. Rudy, thoughts on price to play?
So the beginning, I was like, oh shit, it's actually heavy. I like it. I was even gonna say this is probably the heaviest shit you've played so far tonight. But then once you got to like the fucking
First
the
verse.
chorus, dude, like or the middle of it, it was just like, it just lost me, dude.
Oh shit.
It's just like, you go from like something upbeat to something completely like, I don't know, dude, to me, like I said, they remind me so much of Tool.
Yeah. I think I'm beginning to question whether or not you like clean vocals because I know we gave
I
him
do
a
like
lot of
clean
shit.
vocals. I do. I love clean
I'm
vocals.
pretty
It's
sure
just-
Rudy
it-
likes
it's just this
more than
specific
me, at
sound,
least.
Uh-huh.
the very specific sound, and it just reminds me of that singer from Tool. Dude. I'm not.
Gotcha.
I've never been a fan of them.
Yeah, we do have to keep in mind that when you do reference Tool, you don't like Tool, so
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah,
We gotta keep that in mind. Because I love Tool, you love Tool, right? You like
Mhm.
Tool.
Some.
Jesus Christ, is it the singing?
No. It's the one with the cool, trippy fucking
Lateralis.
Lateralis.
Yeah.
That album was cool.
We have
Some
to
songs.
we have to do a review of Lateralis at some point because that is an amazing
So down.
record.
I will skip that.
Yeah, you'll skip that one. Yeah, I've always dug the song. I always thought it was like on the heavier side of Stain, that main riff. They do have some songs that they lean more into that area. I would have loved to have. I remember even at the time, like this is the time Killswitch and Shadows Fall, all those bands are getting big.
Metalcore.
I was getting used to like the kick drum syncopation with the rhythm guitars, and I was like, God, I really wish they would have done it with this song. I think it would have made that main riff way heavier. Luckily, they do that a little bit more often as we go along in the playlist. So we're gonna go into the next song, which is called "Paper Jesus." This one is off the record Chapter 5.
5.
Came out in 2005. I thought it was the lead off track. I was like, no, it's actually the third track. All right, this is "Paper Jesus."
Damn, see, that's it.
Right?
That's it. But once I hear his voice,
Oh shit.
How's it changing?
Alice in Chainsy. Alice in Chains with double kick. That's what it reminds me of.
Right.
Much better with the drum work.
A reason for your anger. It's what I need. It's what I need to recognize the truth. It's what I need. It's what I need.
I'm gonna let it ride real quick. In a minute.
It's what I need. It's what I need. And all the things you do. It's what I need.
Let me go back to the circle headbanging. All right. Now you guys like fucking your eyes lit up. And you're wearing sunglasses. I saw that. All right. That was Paper Jesus. To put this, just my introduction to Chapter 5, the album, because it's my favorite Stain album. And I have to talk about this because it has to do with this song. Is by the time this album came out, I was checked out of Stained. I was like, I was pretty much going into metalcore, and that Children of Bodom and Arch Enemy, like the Gothenburg sound and metalcore. That was kind of where I was going. So I was like,
Death
Stained,
metal.
like really, right? and then I saw the album review in Revolver magazine, and they said, I remember them saying like Paper Jesus is a standout on the record because they went heavier on this record, which most bands were not doing. Most mainstream bands weren't doing at the time, and they were like, oh yeah, they went double kick, and it sounds like really heavy. And I remember the example of Alice in Chains. Like Aaron Lewis took a huge Alice in Chains influence on this record. I bought the record and I was like, holy shit, this is fucking killer. This is back before like I can go on YouTube and watch the single. I had to buy the album because this wasn't the single.
Yeah.
And then I fell in love with this record. I was like, this is an amazing record. So anyways, Julian, thoughts on Paper Jesus?
It wasn't bad. It wasn't half bad. Drum work is definitely upped its game for sure, but it's pretty much all I got. I'll be honest with you, it didn't really give me much to talk about. It honestly, to me, it sounds like something that would be in like those mid 2000s like SmackDown versus Raw WWE games.
Oh
like,
fuck yeah!
This song could 100% have been in like SVR. I was like whatever year it was, 100%.
Cool. Bagi, thoughts on Paper Jesus?
I liked it up until the chorus, and then it just
Yep.
dropped off. Like the intro and the verse were really good, but then it just went to that weird chorus. It just died.
All right,
It died.
it died. Jandro, thoughts on Paper Jesus?
Yeah, 100. Yeah, I agree with you. Like the chorus lost me. I'll say that at least it just goes all in on the weirdness. You know, like that lead. It's like interesting choice. Some other notes that they land on, like you can tell they're like, let's do something different. Let's move it down here, right?
We do the 0, 8s, and 3s all the time. Let's
0, 8s,
let's
and
fuck
3s.
with something else.
Let's move it here. Yeah, so I'd say like a 6.9. You know, definitely a step up from the previous track for sure.
Okay. Rudy, thoughts on Paper Jesus?
What year was this?
This is 05.
Okay. So, the beginning reminded me a lot of System of a Down, like the guitar work, and also Alice in Chains. Honestly, out of everything you showed me tonight, this was my favorite song.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I feel like it stayed heavy the whole time and upbeat. It didn't have like that downfall of the.
Yeah. We're going to talk about the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so out of all the songs, it's my favorite so far.
Cool. Oh, man. All right. We're going to move on to the next song. So the next song I also took from Chapter 5, too. I actually made a last-minute change before we started the episode. My favorite song on the record is a song called Cross to Bear. But I switched it out for, my opinion, the way I visualize heaviness. This is, to me, the heaviest song on the record. This is King of Excuses. King of All Excuses.
Damn, that opening riff. Oh!
I trusted your intentions, a trust you took advantage of.
Just the rhythm section is interesting.
Sitting in the hole that you dug around
First verse and drum, oh no. Okay.
You lied so much, you think
Okay. Alright.
you know what the truth is. How does someone get to be like you? The king of all excuses.
We're going to bring it back. Hell yeah. That was King of All Excuses. I'm just going to see if they have like a heavy breakdown part to coincide with that heavy ass riff. I always forget. There you go. So I'll just play this part real quick.
I trusted in you.
So, yeah, this to me is like the heaviest song on the record. It's probably to me one of the heaviest Stain songs. Anyways, I love it. I love that doon 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 doon, and then just like the way the drums kick in reminds me a lot of Sad But True, Metallica. Very like, we're gonna slow it the fuck down. We're just gonna let it be chunky. Just let it be obese. We're gonna let it be fat. Godzilla. That's what we're doing. Julian, thoughts on King of All Excuses?
You probably saw my face there, Anthony. You almost lost me there with that first verse, but then once it started to pick back up into the chorus and then going back into that main riff, it saved itself. I think it definitely saved itself, and I would agree it's definitely one of the heaviest songs off of this record specifically. But that was a decent breakdown from Stained, which they don't do often, but when they do, it's not terrible.
Yeah, and also to note, this is 2005, so that kind of breakdown they hadn't done since Mudshovel, so it was like a throwback with the background vocals and the one note doon 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 doon. It was like a little bit of a throwback.
I can see that.
All right. Do we have to just cut and then?
No, we just finished.
Okay.
We got 10 minutes.
Okay. We have a timer on Zoom, so that's all I'm asking. Bagi, thoughts on King of All Excuses?
I mean, it started good, but I don't know. I thought it was going to stay heavy, and it didn't. And I was just like, eh. So, I mean, I don't know. It's to me. Like, it doesn't, like, it's just Stained in general. Like, I know we'll talk about, like, I know we'll talk about, like, you know, on and off points.
Is it meh or is it meh?
It's like meh. It's a meh. It's like not even a. You have to think.
It's a sad meh.
It's like a sad. It's
Okay.
Like a meh. It's just not. I don't know. Just Stained is something I just kind of just skip, to be honest.
Okay. Jandro, thoughts on King of All Excuses?
Not bad. It's not probably as strong. So I gave the previous track, if you recall, let's roll the tapes back. But I did a 6.9 on the previous track. This one, 6.7. It's almost there, but not quite. Keep trying, guys. I know you'll make it one day.
Your ranking
Fucking hell.
is weird.
What makes the difference to the point? I'm just a
Yeah,
drum
what
fill
happened
like.
what happened to the 0.2 points?
Yeah, for me, it was like the verse, like not as strong, but I like the note choices for sure. And then the
You're
chorus
just a
was like,
hard
okay.
man to please, aren't you?
I'm so like.
No, dude, that heavy riff though, like, you know what I mean?
It was
like,
a heavy riff, and they played the correct notes. I would have thought they would have played.
Yep, they
God
didn't fool
damn.
me.
Those big balls bounce, huh? Those big ass balls bounce.
Those balls don't count for 2 points.
God damn. Rudy, thoughts on King of All Excuses?
That that intro riff, dude. That shit's fucking nice. And then once he started singing, you lost me, man.
God damn it. God damn it.
But that riff though, and the drums too in this song really stood out too.
Yeah.
But I'm just biased, dude, with his voice, if I'm being honest.
All right. So we're gonna move into the last two tracks. Both of these
Breakdown.
tracks.
There are breakdowns in both of these, so.
All right. So the next two songs, these are recommended from Julian. Both of them are off the band's recent album, Confessions of the Fallen, from 2003. This first song, the first of the two, is titled Lowest in Me. And I believe it was the band's first single for the record, too.
Get ready for a big jump in production quality.
All right. Lowest in Me. That chorus is fire. said there's a breakdown, Julian?
Yes, there is. Both of them.
We're going to fast forward.
After the second chorus.
Okay. This is coming out of the second chorus. Oh, warm Bud Light. Fuck. Hell yeah. Confession to make, because the album's called Confessions of the Fallen. I listened to this song a lot last year. This was a part of a specific playlist I had. I listened to... This was probably like 3 or 4 on my playlist. I was just going through a lot last year, and this song definitely kind of really hit home for me. So I have a very big emotional connection to this song, like more of a recent thing. But yeah, I dig this fucking song. I remember watching the ad that they had on Instagram at the time, and it was like the 15-second, those 15-second ads where they just showcase that riff.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn, like what the fuck? Because Stain is coming back. I'm expecting ballad, right? And I'm like, holy shit. And I fucking hate Aaron Lewis. I had a fun interaction with Aaron Lewis on Instagram a while ago.
Oh, really?
But yeah, this was like
I gotta hear this.
This is probably before the Tommy Vex situation, so it was like 2019. But I gotta give credit where credit's due. Like this song fucking really hit home for me. Yeah, that I saw that Instagram ad and I was like, holy shit, like these guys killing it. Recording wise, we'll get to talking some shit in a little bit. Because I think I made it a point on this episode that like I am actually a Stain fan. But it is a Linkin Park situation where it is like, hold on, but, and then,
Yeah.
Right.
you know what I mean? So anyways, Julian, we'll start with you. Lowest in Me, thoughts?
This was the very first time where I was like, oh, wait, Stain can actually make good music now. Because, like, I think I could speak for everybody when I said when we heard Stain were coming back and making new music, I think a lot of us were expecting, like, oh, God, he's going to go political. Because...
Yeah.
It's Aaron Lewis we're dealing with. We're going to get some right-wing, agendas and, jabs at the left side of things.
To give our listeners context, Aaron Lewis has a successful solo country career, and he's very vocal politically at his concerts. So just for context, that's why Julian brought that up. Because I think it was a concern amongst a lot of like older Stain fans is Stain going to go political, or is he just going to keep that in that realm?
Right.
Thankfully, he kept it in the realm that Stain always have. Because
For a while.
Yeah, well, true, for a while.
For a little while.
But still, I think this is out of, like, for first singles to release, I think this is the best song to release. Like, just let everyone know, like, hey, we're fucking back. So, yeah, I think it was a decent song. It was a great song that came out last year. One of the 2 songs off this record that I think were great, because I'll be honest, the rest of this record is absolute ass. But it's a decent song nonetheless. It's probably one of my favorite. This is my second favorite Stain song, but my favorite Stain song we're going to get to in a little bit.
Okay, cool. Bagi, thoughts on Lowest in Me?
Bagi?
It was good, but I don't know. Like, I like it, but at the same time, I'm just like, I've heard this before. Like, I'm done. Like, I don't... If you came back with this and you had, like, a bunch of years to change something or to add something different, I don't think they did anything.
I mean, like, you don't hear it, though, because there is so much new. There's, like, a lot of new electronics programming.
Yeah, but I mean...
Even the production quality,
but
and even the riffing is a little different, too.
Yeah, a little. It's
like, the
different,
formula's there, but...
But it's like, you've done the formula for so long. Why not change it? Like, why keep the same formula? I understand.
Because it works.
I mean, it works, yes, but I mean, if you're coming back after the what was the last album before this one?
The self-titled.
I am checking right now.
The album before this was the self-titled in 2011.
2011.
Yeah.
13. Oh no, this came out when?
12 years. This was 12 years later.
12 years later.
Oh fuck.
You're telling me like you're not gonna try something different? Like you've already got your success with your first couple albums. Why not try something different?
Just
That's
listen,
just my
listen to
opinion.
the rest of the. You gotta listen to the rest of the record, dude. They do change it up, but they do not pull it off.
Okay, I'll have to give it a listen. But I mean, from what I'm
Good
hearing so
luck.
far,
All right, so we're gonna get Alex's thoughts on Lowest in Me.
I mean, the production for sure stood out to me. As far as like the music, yeah, it's pretty consistent with like what I would expect Stain to sound like. I've never heard, those songs, or this song, and yeah, man, I'm pretty surprised. Like, holy shit! Like, yeah, just give the people what they want. I mean, maybe, right?
Yeah.
I'll have to gander the rest of the album and see what they attempt and fail, but
Yeah.
but yeah, it's interesting song for sure. I give this one a hard 6.9. It's not bad.
wait, what? No, I'm not gonna get into it. No,
We're not. Don't do it.
No.
Look at me. Don't fucking do it.
I'm not gonna
That is
get
a
it.
rabbit hole we will not. Look at Julian. Look at Julian.
don't.
He doesn't. He doesn't even understand your rating system.
I
I love this.
I watched the Wage War
Love this.
episode, and I still don't fucking get the rating system.
Yeah.
I don't think he
Let me
gets
get a
the rating
5.4.
system
You're
himself.
right.
give this
Jandro
one,
doesn't even get his own fucking rating system either. So
Yeah.
fucking hell.
All right.
The famous Wage War episode. I love it. It was such a good session.
God, Brennan fucking tore into
Dude,
you.
I
on
could,
that
I could
Oh,
tell, like,
he tore into your ass, dude.
I
He
could
was like, "You
tell.
just don't want to like it."
You just don't want to like it. I'm like, Jesus. I struck a chord.
There's something blocking you that you just aren't let. I'm like, God damn,
It's the
motherfucker getting
gatekeeping.
psychological on your
I
ass.
fucking hit below the
Just
belt,
wasn't
apparently.
satisfied at all that entire show.
I'm just like, yeah, you're an elitist metal guy. No, I'm not.
What are you?
I'm not.
Well-
And then here's Brennan. He's not. He just doesn't want to like it.
That's literally what it is, dude. That's what so many internet trolls do. They're like, "Oh, I'm not an elitist. Like, I like these bands. Like, then why are you judging then?"
Yeah. Alex is you're the elitist of the group. You take your throne
I-
and fucking rock it.
Take your
I'll
take
fucking
your
rock it.
your crown, your elitist crown, and run with it.
That's
I
right.
will. Thank you.
Rudy, thoughts on Lowest in Me?
So like Bagi was saying that he feels like they're doing the same stuff over and over, like a certain formula that they have. I think they actually sound way different, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. Because to me, I mean, this just sounds like something on the radio that I would normally just skip.
Oh, okay.
So so for being gone that long, I think we would have been okay without them coming back. But that's just me though.
To be real, I think most of the world would have been just fine without a new Stain record.
Yeah.
I think,
You ain't
kidding.
nobody
Yeah.
was really asking for it.
Dude, Octane. I love SiriusXM. I love Octane. I know some of the people on there, but they milked the shit out of this song when it came out.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. I dig it. Like I said, I love the heavy riff. I love that it does lean a little darker as far as the tones go. I think after chapter 5, as a musician, I started to really get where Aaron Lewis was going. Definitely more of the Alice in Chains kind of vibe, and I think that's what he tried to do before, but it didn't work. I think he kind of mastered it on chapter 5, and that's what we're kind of hearing now. I do like the production quality, and I think it's a good song. I think it's. I mean, like I said,
is.
I have an emotional connection to it, but if I'm to just look at it like as a song, yeah, it's nothing special, but not everything has to be like groundbreaking. Sometimes you just want like a really cool rock song. Sometimes you just want a by the book metal song. Sometimes you
I
just
get
want
that.
a verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and sometimes you want revocation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I
there's
get that.
and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing
Not
wrong
at
with
all.
liking a
No.
basic ass song.
Nothing wrong with
I think
it.
as long as the writing is genuine and you kind of feel something from it, I think that's what separates like a band like this, like where they're actually trying. Like Aaron Lewis is a soulful songwriter, so trying to
When he wants to be.
well, yeah, when he wants to be, and we don't have too many of those now. As far as like the modern bands go, we don't have the songwriters in the band. It's just you have the collectiveness of everybody. I don't know. I'm kind of going back to them because you motherfuckers just out here. It sounds like shit. I'm like, oh, no, it doesn't sound like shit.
I don't think it sounds like shit.
Sounds cool.
It just, I don't know, man.
Not age well.
It doesn't.
Live
This
edition.
came out
it
last
doesn't-
year. What are
it
you talking
doesn't
about?
get
It
me
hasn't
moving.
aged
Talking about
well.
this, I'm talking about the other stuff.
Oh, the other stuff. Okay.
So
Yeah.
not aged
Okay.
well.
Especially
We're
with
gonna
the
get-
person singing for it.
Yeah, well, that's actually true. I need to stop
We'll
going to
get
bat
into
for
that.
Stain so much. This is the last song on the playlist. This is also off the album Confessions of the Fallen. This song is called Cycle of Hurting.
Fucking love this song. Holy shit.
That's different. We're going to fast forward to the breakdown. This is coming out of the second chorus. That's hard.
This goes so fucking hard, dude. Fucking the growls. I love it.
All right. That was Cycle of Hurting. Now, I'm just going to say this point blank. If you decide to use that same formula bullshit right now, which I agree for like every song before this, I'm going to pluck your ears out.
One.
There is
by
so much
one.
different that they do in this song,
It's so
considering the
different.
Stain sound. This, I guarantee you, this was a Saint Asonia song. I guarantee you, Mike Mushok had this song for his other band, and the band was probably like, "Hey, we really like that song. Let's use that." This is such a departure from the band. If you don't think so, I'd like to hear why, but I will debunk all of the reasons because it's clearly there.
No reasons. I don't like it.
Okay, you don't like it.
It's
Okay.
unimpressive to me. I've heard better.
What the reason I'm leaning towards the it's different is because I feel like that would impress you because that was your biggest complaint in the last song. Is
No, yeah, I
just
get
sounds
it.
like the same, and then
I get it.
They give you something different, and you're like, nah, just I don't like it.
I'm sorry. I don't like it. I've heard it. I've heard it before, and it's just. Why do I want to hear it again?
Okay, Julian, thoughts on Cycle of Hurting?
Anthony, we're going to be in the exact same boat with this because this does sound very, very different from everything they've ever done. And that's one of the reasons why I chose this song. Like, if you would have asked me, like, years ago, like, oh, Stain would actually be making a song that's not only heavier, but sounds different from anything they've ever done, I would have told you lost your fucking mind because getting Aaron Lewis in the studio to do something new takes work. And as we've seen many times over the years, Aaron Lewis doesn't like work. So,
Exactly.
yeah, but I like the song. I like the song so much. I love the chorus. Just like the fact that Aaron Lewis got to really showcase his growls, I do really appreciate. Just that long, it's just really cool. I thought it was
Yeah.
great. Mike Newshock's solo was great. I liked it. So.
Cool. Jandro, we're gonna go into you, not into you, but we want to go into your opinion.
Yeah, Daddy.
Into those gigantic testicles you call home.
I call my home.
You call your home.
Um,
When you lay forward, do you lay forward like you're laying on a desk? Like,
I kind of have to like slouch a lot,
slouch?
just because it like relieves the pressure.
my man.
All right.
That's why I have a lower lumbar disc
Do you-
issue.
That's the sciatica kicking in.
Sciatica,
Do you
for
bounce?
sure,
Do you bounce on them like a hippity hop?
Yeah. Well, that was when I was younger. Now I can't do that anymore, dude.
It hurts.
Not
But
anymore.
all the coating's gone.
Yeah, when I hit 30, like
They just
something happened.
drag.
Yeah, exactly. The first day I sat on them. I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Julian, just get ready for your 30s, man. They're coming.
Oh,
And
I
they-
know. I know.
they
I'm
suck.
a few years away. I'm not
You're in
ready.
your prime, bro.
We're in our prime. What the fuck are you talking about?
No,
Wow.
yeah, Prime. Fuck.
past
no.
our
Well, no,
prime.
of the group, we're definitely not in our prime. Like, I'm talking about like the average age of a man in their prime is like mid 30s to mid 40s. That's the prime of a man.
I say 20s.
Yeah.
Why?
See, I'm in the
you can't
prime of
do
my fucking
shit.
life
Yeah,
right
a lot
now.
of
What are you
physically-
talking
You
about?
could.
I mean, you could fuck for an hour, but
Yeah, you're the most
that's about
physically
it.
fit.
I mean-
I was gonna say some, but never mind. I would say I could
Okay.
go way longer than that at my age.
we
See?
know. I'm
And
just
the
saying.
numbers are growing by the minute. Each generation, that gap gets bigger and bigger.
Julian's like an hour. I have to take a sick day. God damn it.
Damn.
All right, so
It's like a
Jandro,
countdown.
let's just grab your testicles and put them aside so we can
All
see your
right,
beautiful face.
Testicles aside,
Testicles aside.
this is a hard 8. I was
God
surprised.
damn it!
I was surprised how this took me back to like fucking early 2000s, like new metal.
I
Like,
don't know if that's a
This took you back,
This
but
took
not
me
the
back.
other songs that were actually in early 2000s metal.
well, no, for this having released like recently, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
holy shit, this is like a
Nostalgic.
Mirror. Yeah. No, for sure. This is like a mirror into fucking when I was in high school and shit. So don't die. Julian's dying.
You just made me
Julian's
spit
dying.
out my water, you piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. You see what the
that's
fuck you
we
did?
do. That's what we do.
See what the fuck you did?
I just,
Hang on.
Fuck. So yeah, man.
It's all those weekends just fucking. It's catching up to Julian right now.
Dude, you gotta-
Weekend at Julian's over here.
He's trying to hydrate, and I'm stopping him. I'm sorry.
so is going.
I'm
is-
bringing over a second chick for Memorial Day.
So is going up on your scale a good thing or is it a bad thing?
No, this is a good thing. It
An
took me
8
back.
is a good thing.
Dude, it took me back. I'd say an 8. It took me back. Songwriting wise, I will say this: that verse where it kind of grows and they start bringing in the fucking chugs,
Yeah.
and into that like transitional pre-chorus. I was like, that was nice.
All
That was
right.
That was a
good.
thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
2 testicles, way
2
up.
testicles,
I-
way plump.
You don't let him drop in the
I
toilet.
just figured out I'm not-
Way plump.
Nope.
With a bluish hue.
Bluish hue. It's okay.
Let the boy
Don't
watch.
be alarmed.
All right, Rudy, thoughts on Cycle of Hurting?
I think Homie should do more growls and screams, man. Because when
He
he
should.
actually does them, they fucking sound pretty legit, dude.
Okay.
You know.
That's true. I agree
Wish
with
he
that.
did more of it. You know, this song is way different than everything you played tonight too. It was heavier, but it's still, you know, stained. But that's about it. I'll give him the growls. You got some good growls.
Okay, cool.
I'm just over here cleaning up the puddle
The puddle.
Jeez.
Well, it is
I
Sunday
spit-
night, Julian.
Oh,
You've had the
God
whole weekend.
There you go.
On
It's,
the
it's
Lord's
wetter
Day.
in there than fucking Diddy's floor.
Jesus.
Ain't nothing like a Diddy party.
Because a Diddy party don't stop. Of the 4 of us, the 4 Metalogy guys, which one would we consider Diddy?
Would we
You're
consider
Diddy fool.
I'm Diddy. Fuck you. I'm
You
Diddy.
listen to Drake.
I love Drake.
You Diddy.
So
How am
did
I Diddy? I'm not the one who
Brad-
masturbates 10 times a day.
Hey, that's different.
No.
That is not. You know how many
Yeah.
times Diddy's getting in a day? Probably 10 times.
All right.
At
I
least
think-
Bashi's keeping it to himself.
This is what I
Diddy's
do.
Diddy
Going-
does-
Diddy
he-
kept it to himself. That's why he's going to court. He kept it to himself.
Diddy.
court.
And they got caught. Yeah, in court. It's going to be jail, but
Yeah.
Just do it here in my room. So
Who's got the more bottle of lubes at home?
I don't have any lube. I don't,
I don't
use
believe
lube.
that.
Not me.
I don't believe
I
in
don't
lube.
believe that.
I don't use lube.
In that case, I got
All right,
infinite.
all right, we'll see.
Baji uses it when he's listening to baby metal.
Oh,
I wouldn't be
God.
surprised.
That's lotion. That's different.
Especially when Dada Dance comes on.
Oh yes.
Oh, God.
Hey, by the way, Dada Dance is still being played today in my
Hell
personal
yeah.
playlist. So thank you, Julian, for that.
No problem, buddy.
We have to get another camera. So we have to just mount a camera up on one of the shelves to showcase all of your futas, all of your hentai.
yeah.
There's not hentai. They're just things.
I beg to
They're
differ.
figures.
I don't
They're
wanna touch
figures,
my
sir.
bad.
I don't want to knock
Don't
them
touch any
down.
of them. It's all,
Collectibles.
it's all
I made
slippery.
Sure, I made sure not to.
Yeah, it's like Diddy's house over there. You don't want to go over there.
Yeah.
Stay over here. We're safe.
I don't want no
collectibles
evidence on
alone.
my hands.
They're my
It's just all
collectibles.
crusty.
Yeah.
Damn it, they're
I don't
not
wanna-
crusty.
I don't want to add
So
to the
some
crust.
of the keys on his keyboard don't work no more. That's why it took
They
forever.
all work. Fuck you.
The Control V is not working, Tony. Why? I came on it one day and then I came on it every other day after that.
Yeah.
Bro.
There's a whole ecosystem inside of that keyboard.
There's
You
people.
leave
There's
my
people in there.
fucking
There's people
keyboard
in there.
alone.
People in
Okay.
There's a whole society. in
Leave
there.
my goddamn
That's why he
keyboard
doesn't want to throw it
alone.
away. All of his kids are growing in there.
Help! Help me!
No, I don't.
Hello,
I
Bagi
like it.
1. Hello, Bagi 2.
Every time
Oh,
he press,
look.
he just pressing the key, just killing left and right.
Jesus.
No!
Like
no!
massacring civilizations when he's typing on that motherfucker.
Done.
Just,
Civilization 6.
No! No, please!
you sick fuck you.
You leave me.
You
God
sick
damn.
fuck!
I do what I do.
We're going to get you some help. We will help you.
do keyboards
I don't
is
need
what you
help.
do.
I am a god.
You're not a
I
god.
decide who lives and who dies with a touch of a key.
That's
Don't
not-
take that away from me.
You sound like fucking Westboro Baptist Church right now.
Yeah. You feel like
I am a
king.
god!
We got to get you a
Yeah.
queen. We got to get you a queen to anyways. All right, so that was the playlist. So lots of misses on there with you guys. Couple little hits, but nothing too crazy. Bagi is highly unimpressed.
Yeah.
Hey, having Mudshovel in this list, like it's
That's
fucking
what saved
A-okay
it
in
for
my
me.
book, dude. I fucking
Gotcha.
love Mudshovel.
Mudshovel's a good one.
All right, so we're gonna get into the fall off point. This is the part of the podcast everyone tunes in for. How did we stop becoming fans of this band? Because 3 of you aren't really fans of the band. I guess we'll just talk about, for you guys, your fall off point would be what lessened your interest in the band, or if there's anything new that you want to talk about, because there's new stuff regarding Aaron Lewis.
Yeah.
So we will start with me. I was gonna start with Julian, but I know Julian wants to go in on this one, so we're gonna
Oh,
build
you
that
ain't
one
fucking
up.
joking, bro.
Yeah, Julian wants to go in. He's getting lit up over there. My follow-up point with Stained happened pretty early on. It was after Chapter 5, so that was 2005. I just naturally got into heavier music. I was just naturally pushing away all like the Papa Roaches and the Linkin Parks and the Limp Bizkits. I was pushing them aside and making way for the new wave of American heavy metal and all the stuff that was coming with that. And that just became my style of music. So I wasn't really interested in Stained after that Chapter 5 album. Not that the album was bad, actually. The album was really good. But like I said, those bands were not nostalgic yet for me. They would become later. So I remember when Aaron Lewis started his country solo career, he dropped an EP, and I forget the name of the song, but I actually liked the song a lot. I was like, oh, like this is really cool. Like Aaron Lewis is trying something different. I always thought he was a great songwriter because he was known as, like, as far as the softer songs in Stained, he was the main songwriter for those. It's been a while, Outside, stuff like that, Epiphany. And I've always been a fan of Stained's softer side. So going into his solo stuff, I was like, okay, I like it. I'm not too into country music. I do like country. But it was like, okay, it's cool, but it's nothing special. It's just Aaron Lewis's voice. And that was about it. When I really lost a lot of respect for Stained was in 2019. Aaron Lewis had came out and basically was like, I'm a hardcore Trump supporter, which, all right, at the time everything was politically hot. So if you were a Trump supporter, probably deservedly so, you were given some shit. But he did more than just, this is before the Tommy Beck situation, he did more than just, I'm voting for Trump, or I'm for Trump, I'm MAGA. He straight up started talking a lot of shit about people, not just the Democratic politicians, but people who were Democrats. And I was like, I remember commenting on something, and I said, like, hey, like, you're alienating people like me, like an audience that has supported Stained for a long time, and that I don't think that's very wise of you to do, considering you are in the industry to give art to people, and you perform for people, you entertain for people. Maybe it's not the best idea to alienate a whole fan base you've had for almost 20 years. My response was, you're a piece of shit Democrat, and of course you think like that, and you're not tolerant of anybody else but your own thoughts. So fuck you, and I would prefer it if you didn't follow me. And then
Classic.
I just went in on him and said that's a lot of shit coming from somebody who hasn't had a hit single since fucking 2004, and just pretty much went ham on him and called Stained the Metallica version of Trapped, because I was not going to give Trapped that much credit because Stained has had more hits than Trapped.
What hits?
Oh, dude, the whole the Break the Through album is an entire hit. The fuck are you
I'm
talking
talking about Trapped.
Oh, Trapped. Okay, yeah, no, there's two. There's two. Headstrong and Echoes.
What's the second one?
Echoes. Echoes was the second one. Or Echo. Echo.
I don't remember that.
It was on rock radio when it came out. It hasn't aged very well at all. But I remember being like hearing Headstrong and then hearing Echo a lot. And that was it. That was it for Trapped. I have this idea we should review Trapped music videos on new Trapped music videos on an upcoming episode. They did like 5 or 6 music videos for their new album, and it looks
Oh my god.
terrible. Like the quality of it. It's not that like it's like it sucks because it's Trapped. It's like the quality is like you guys hired like a college student to come out, and you guys found like a small like set area and filmed 5 music videos in like 4 rooms, and it is so bad. It's like
Dude.
they're not even keeping in the center of the screen. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, the camera guy, you tell he does not know what the fuck he's doing, and the editing was trash. So I would love to review the music videos.
Music video review.
Dude.
There we go.
Yeah, the last 5.
Someone asked me to review the new Trapped album that came out this year, and I respectfully declined because I don't want to waste my fucking time on that band.
Terrible.
As
Terrible band.
no one should.
No one should except for us because we love to
Torturing yourself.
talk shit. We love to talk shit. So my follow-up point would be like, yeah, when Aaron Lewis went real heavy, started doing concerts where he's just ranting about Trump and the far left and pedophiles and all this shit. When Stain came back together, I was like, okay, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna keep it from, like, he has to be at least someone intelligent to know that, like, oh, I'm opening for Korn. Like, I'm gonna get a massive payday for this. Maybe I shouldn't fucking alienate their entire fan base. And he didn't. He did a good job up until I believe it was last year is when he started doing it again. And I believe somebody had said the reason they were in talks to do a Korn tour in Europe, and Korn declined to bring Stain out on that tour. They were in talks of like, okay, who's the package going to be? And originally the idea was to have Stain be a part of that package, and they just were like, no, we're gonna go with somebody else.
We're good.
I wonder why, because half their fucking set was probably Aaron Lewis ranting about Trump. All right, so we're gonna get into Julian's follow-up point. I'm gonna let Julian go. Well, hold on. Before we let Julian go, let me get around to you guys. Rudy.
Say it's gonna be a while for me.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Rudy, do you have a follow-up point with Trapped? Do you have a follow-up point with Stain?
No, because I never got on.
You were never on the train.
No, I was never on the train.
All right. Is there a reason why? Like, can you specify like just why you're not interested in the band?
Mostly, I guess it's his vocals. I would say it's just and just that type of music. It's a very specific formula that they fucking follow by, and to me, it just kind of puts me to sleep.
Okay.
That's just me though.
Yeah. No problem. It's your opinion. Alex, do you have a follow-up point with Stained?
I mean, Mudshovel being still on my playlist till today. I guess technically not. I have not fallen off that single song. But yeah, I'm not really interested in the rest of the band. I just love Mudshovel, dude.
I'm just gonna stick with Mudshovel, man.
Yeah, like
I'll live and die on that hill.
It's playlists, bro. Playlists are awesome, man. You just pick and choose certain moods, certain fucking of the day and shit. And
what playlist is Mudshovel on for you? Is it on the songs to bang to, or is it on the? Because that's a pretty aggressive song.
I could if I wanted. It is called G Spot. The playlist it's called G Spot. But G Spot being like, there's just songs that like I just want to fucking sing to or kind of like feeling it. You know what I mean?
You're not right there. You can feel my anger.
Yeah. I don't think I'd make it past fucking the intro, bro.
God damn.
Wow.
All right.
But
Old men in here. We are
Yeah.
old.
God
Geriatric.
damn.
geriatric.
Not
fuck.
me. I'm young and happy.
I hear you.
Yeah.
We could tell you're out there slipping. Out there slipping on your
Slipping
ditty
and
floor.
sliding.
On Julian's ditty floor. Just, oh, fuck. It's Sunday night. I forgot to clean up.
God damn.
God damn it.
Do you spit shine your floor? Just let me clean that real quick.
Yeah.
Now you're rubbing your fucking
Haktua.
belly button.
I'm not
Now
rubbing-
Baji's rubbing his fucking
My
belly
belly
button.
button's over here. This is my fucking phone, you dumb cunt.
Dude, you are rubbing your belly button.
No,
Okay,
You're a fucking.
go on.
Oh,
were
It
you
was
done?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I'm done, bro.
All right. Can you stop rubbing your belly button and tell me about your follow-up point real quick?
There was never really a follow point because I was never on. I liked them. Don't get me wrong. Anytime I heard Mudshovel, been a while.
Outside.
Outside. Every time I heard them, I'm like, oh, that's cool. But it's like they never really put anything that really
Wowed
like.
you.
Yeah, no. It all sounded the same. But I mean, like you were saying, like your taste in music was growing. So at the same time, like mine was as well. I was like, well, I'm hearing like fucking Kill Switch, Lamb of God, and they're all like it's metal, but they're doing different things. Yet these guys, like, I'm just hearing the same fucking shit.
It's a lot. It's a lot like porn. Like we
Yeah.
both grew up with Skinemax, with like
Yeah.
Cinemax. And I went ahead and I went to like Pornhub and Brazzers and you went to Futas and hentai and you know I get that.
Yeah.
It's the same. No,
Different-
that's
different
two different
tastes.
things.
So, yeah. Well, I'm saying it's two different. Go on.
Point being,
Yellow brick road converges at some point. So
it does, but this one didn't. It
this
just
one didn't.
it just walked straight into the fucking abyss to me.
Ooh.
All right.
But yeah, no, it just, I mean, if this is what they're putting out, I guess, but it's whatever's to me. Not really gonna. It's not something that's gonna drag me back in, to be honest.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna get into the reason why we're here, which is Julian's fall-off point with Stain. Julian, take the floor.
Stained. Where should I begin? So,
At the beginning.
thank you. Thank you, Alberto.
For starters, you can tell him to shut the fuck up. You have.
Okay, I appreciate that. Shut the fuck up, Bagi.
There you go.
So, the year was 2019. I was graduating high school. I was happy to be out of there. And my parents got me tickets to Louder Than Life as my graduation present. And who would be coming back to that festival in 2019? This is their return show. It was Stained. It was Stained. I knew about them, but I didn't know much about them. I didn't know about Aaron Lewis and all that stuff. And I didn't know it until they took the stage. Aaron Lewis, like, we were talking about, like, oh, they never really got political with Stained. They never really did. Well, he wore a T-shirt on stage that said, "Come take my guns." Because this is right around the time where they were talking about, like, I think it was like a school shooting happened, and they wanted gun control and all that stuff. And Aaron was like obviously very against that. And he's like, "Hey, go take my guns." I was like, okay, so I know what side of the fence he plays for.
Hell yeah.
But after that, I just kind of stopped giving a shit about them. In 2020, I didn't really listen to them. I ignored Aaron Lewis. Knew he was a Trump supporter. I'm not, never will be. But 2021 comes around, and they announced the tour with Korn and Fire from the Gods. I have seen Stained 3 times, guys. Accidentally, not
Jesus.
intentionally. I was only going to see Korn. But I will say this right now. When they came to St. Louis, Aaron Lewis did keep his mouth shut for a little bit. Because he wore a T-shirt on stage that said, "I could shit out a better president."
That motherfucker.
And next thing you know, right before the song Paper Wings, which is on the self-title, he goes, "This song goes out to the people in the Oval Office." And that was the only political thing he said that night. And I'm just like, fuck it, really, dude? Like, there is a time and a place for stuff like that. But I'm sorry. When you're playing with a band that has a very diverse audience in Korn, where everyone is a big fan of Korn, regardless of what side of the fence you're on, you are literally going to push your little agendas on them. But then, fast forward a few weeks later, I go back to Louder Than Life 2021, and who is playing on day one? Stained is playing on day one. And next thing you know, Aaron Lewis still has that shirt, but then he has an impeach Biden hat. Keep in mind, he has not gone political at all since Stained rejoined. Since Stained got back together, there was a low point in their set where Aaron decided to talk. And he decides to go, you know, I would rather say a lot of stuff, but a lot of stuff I'd say would get me in trouble. Takes off his hat, points it to the camera, and starts showing everyone, and he puts it back on and goes, pretty sure I didn't say a damn thing. Fast forward 3 songs later, he starts a F Joe Biden chant like he
I
would.
saw that. That was
Now
on.
I'm just-
That was on TikTok.
Yeah, so that was a point where I'm just like, fuck you, dude. I was a fan for so long, and you just can't keep your mouth shut for a few minutes. You can't keep your mouth shut for a few minutes. I will say, after that happened, they played Welcome to Rockville a few weeks later, and Aaron Lewis did the same thing, except he's talked about how he got COVID, and he just goes, I beat COVID with ivermectin, or I think that's what it's called. You guys know what ivermectin is, right?
Yeah, it's horse tranquilizer.
That is stuff for horses. Horses, not meant for human consumption, by the way. So I have a bunch of my friends. I have a friend that works in the medical industry. She can literally tell me everything I needed to know about what was going on. Why would I listen to a guy like Aaron Lewis? Like, I'm sorry, ivermectin is for horses.
Yeah.
He only said that because Trump said that's the thing to do. Because remember, Trump said that too. I'm just like, there's a reason why he wasn't voted again. But yeah, it just really blew my mind. Just like, he really is dragging his band into this until the next tour. Because they did a tour in 2023 with Godsmack. He didn't say a fucking thing on that show. And they played a bunch of shows this year. They're playing with Breaking Benjamin right now, and they did a couple festival shows. He stopped wearing the political shirts, stopped wearing the political hats. He's not talking about politics because he finally realized, okay, I can save this for my solo shows, but I'll just keep it out of Stained because again, they're touring with bands that probably don't have the same political beliefs as him. So I'm like, I'm gonna try and respect other people's beliefs and blah blah blah. And they've been doing better. He has actually been doing better with Stained. But then I go to his solo stuff. His last 2 albums are some of the worst country albums I've ever heard. Because he is talking about lyrics. Like, he has a song called Am I the Only One? Which is talking about, like, oh, Confederate statues being torn down and all that stuff. And then he has another song called Let's Go Fishing, where he literally says the line, we can make America great again, turn off CNN. Bro.
Dropping rhymes.
Ugh, I guess we could call it that shit. But it's just like, it blows my mind just how far this man will go to get his political like agendas out. Even though he has eased off on it recently, he has actually eased off on it. I think his agendas influenced certain other bands.
Oh,
that
Skillet.
certain other bands because Skillet have been doing the exact same thing, except Aaron Lewis has actually been kept quiet. He's been keeping quiet about stuff like that, even though he's killing defenseless animals and spelling out Trump 2024 on it. But that shit
Jesus.
was like, yeah, that's a real thing. Killed a bunch of coyotes and just spelled out Trump 2024. I'm just like, I don't care if there's like a like hunting season. Like, I already don't like hunting to begin with. I don't like hunting for sport at all. I think it's disgusting. But it's just like, you're literally placing these corpses to spell out your political agendas. I'm like, bro, you have officially lost your... Well, you lost your mind a long time ago, but you've officially lost your mind.
Yeah.
But like I said before, I was talking to Bagi about this before we started the call. Personally, I would much rather spend a week with Aaron Lewis than spend 5 minutes talking to this fucking guy. John Cooper because Aaron Lewis, surprisingly, isn't pushing his religious beliefs on
Yeah.
to everybody. He just goes the political route, whereas John Cooper does both. I know this is completely off topic from Stained and Aaron Lewis, but I fucking despise John Cooper with every fiber of my being. He is very anti-mask. He is very pro-life, if you want to call that. He has talked about so much horrible stuff, and I've tried to ignore it. I tried to ignore it, just enjoy the music, blah blah blah. But then they started incorporating it into the music. They started doing that in 2022, and I was just like, really, dude? But then they really doubled down on it this year because they released a song called Unpopular, which is basically a giant middle finger at the thousands of fans that left them behind.
Yeah.
They lost a lot of fans because of that. And then Olympic season rolls around and John Cooper went on a full-blown transphobic rant.
Yeah.
Completely say like, oh, they're going after your kids. They're going after your kids. Drag queens and transgender people, they're only on this earth to go after your kids. And then they play a festival called Winter Jam, which was a touring Christian festival. And he goes, the LGBTQ plus community are only here to get your kids to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now you guys hear that. You hear that stuff. You're like, wow, somehow this dude is worse than Aaron Lewis. And you are correct.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, and the reason why I brought that up is because I feel like those agendas and those ideas were influenced because of Aaron Lewis and how outspoken he has been. But I will say, Aaron Lewis, yeah, he can go a bit over the line sometimes, but he never went over the lines that John Cooper did.
Yeah.
And also, Aaron Lewis is a much better singer than John Cooper, and he's a much better performer than John Cooper. John Cooper, he can barely hold a note now. He's just so... It blows my mind. He'll go on stage at these like non-Christian festivals and go like, I will respect your beliefs. I will respect you, blah, blah, blah. And then go on his little podcast called Cooper Stuff Podcast. Brilliant name, by the way. And he'll just do the exact opposite of what he did on stage. He will judge like no one else ever does. And I remember in the last episode, one of you said like all religions are pretty much cults.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think it was Jandro that said that, but
Probably.
it's
Sounds about
just
right.
Sounds about him.
it's just sad to see how far a band like that has fallen. And again, I know I'm supposed to be talking about Aaron Lewis, but this just turned into a fucking Skillet rant and John Cooper rant. But they're both really one and the same, except one got worse and the other one decided to tone it back a little bit.
Yeah.
But that initial craziness sparked even more craziness.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't like pretty much either band. Like I go back and listen to Stain. Like I'm not gonna deny I have some Stain stuff on my streaming services. I don't have a single Skillet song on my streaming service anymore, and I plan to keep it that way because they were one of the first bands I got into because I went to a Christian school my whole life. I went to a Christian school from preschool all the way through high school, and Skillet were one of the few bands I was allowed to listen to. But then certain things happened. I told Anthony about this. I won't go into it. But
Sorry to hear that, man.
yeah, it was some rough shit, and that's why I became an atheist and why I'm still an atheist to this day. So just to hear how judgmental a lot of them can be, it's just like there are good Christians out there, but people like John Cooper make those good Christians look bad.
Yeah.
And I just have no respect for that. And again, I feel like all of that was influenced because of Aaron Lewis. I know people in the comments are probably just like, oh, he only really went after John Cooper. He didn't really touch on Aaron Lewis. Oh, I did. I did. It just became a John Cooper thing. And that's why I wear this shirt proudly. And this coming week, Louder Than Life, they are playing on that Saturday. And I'm going to be wearing this shirt to that event.
Yeah.
Just so he knows how I fucking feel.
Yeah. Fucking.
Fuck
And
yeah,
it just really makes me... Oh, I'm sorry if I'm rambling on for
No,
too
that's
long.
cool.
You're
I think there is a point too, and I think it's something important that I think as not just metal listeners, but just like music enthusiasts and people that go to concerts and stuff, because here in San Diego, we have certain bands that are more vocal about their their political
Beliefs.
stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
I do think that it is something that needs to be addressed as far as like just music goes. I do feel like, yeah, music is an art form. Like you should express yourself however way you want to express yourself. And if people want to follow you for that, beautiful. But I think when you're playing large venues, you have a responsibility to not push your agenda, because your agenda could be harmful to either
Very.
that community or a societal or even into an individual as themselves. So I really look down on bands that, and you know, like I said, like I'm pretty left, and a lot of the bands I listen to are pretty left, but I don't want to go to a concert where, oh, I'm gonna get a 20-minute rant on fuck Trump. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm gonna agree with that for about a minute. But I paid my ticket to listen to music. I didn't pay my ticket to hear your thoughts on CNN. Like, that's not why I bought a ticket. I didn't buy a ticket to the Aaron Lewis show. I bought a ticket to Korn and Stain opening for them. You know what I mean? And I do think that it needs to be addressed. One of the big reasons I'm not a Dave Mustaine supporter, Jandro knows this, is Dave Mustaine for at least a while, not too much lately, but for a while.
He's gone quiet as well.
Yeah, he was.
As he should.
He was extremely vocal about his faith, and extremely vocal about like how he feels about people opposed to those faiths, and I think that did a lot of harm to the Megadeth community, and it made Megadeth a joke. I know, because I'm still fucking joking about it. And I think that, yeah, there are bands who are right-wing that you kind of know, like, yeah, they're right-wing. Like Avenged Sevenfold, for example, like some of those guys are Republican. Metallica, yes, some of the guys are Republican. Like, you have
But
bands.
they don't push it.
Yeah, they don't push it, so you can enjoy the music, you can enjoy the performance, and you won't have that, oh, that motherfucker's a Trump supporter. Just, I think, as much as a Republican doesn't want to go to a concert and be like, that motherfucker's going to rant to me about Biden for the next 5 minutes. Like, you want to go to enjoy the show. And I think a huge part of a music concert is the music, and once you start ranting and start trying to push your agendas on that, you're doing more harm, not just to like your fan base, but you're also doing more harm to yourself as your credibility as a performer. So I do think that there is a lot to be said on that. Any thoughts on that, guys?
I mean, absolutely. The whole time, like, I was thinking, like, you know what, like, there's bands that I don't agree with, like, their ideologies, you know, and Megadeth's a perfect example where I just have to kind of silence that part of it, and I focus on like just the parts that I do like. Obviously, I think, you know, in a PR perspective, he has calmed down a lot and quiet over the years, and has been working to restructure, or, you know, his status, you know, or in his presence. But yeah, man, it really just like alienates, you know, and you can make it. You can believe whatever you want, you know. But yeah, like the examples that you're stating, you know, where they're just like getting too. I mean, religion is a one of my bugaboos as well. So when people are like pushing certain things onto people, it's like, well, dude, like, you know, I think we should just keep that to ourselves. You know, yeah, maybe sing about it if you want, I guess, you know. But I just don't like anything being forced down my throat. And that just goes, you know, in life, you know, or like, you know, people around me. I just don't want to have this, you know, your shit shoved down my throat. You know, I hear you, but, you know, again, why is your mouth?
You could tone it down,
Yeah, tone it down, you know what I mean? Because I'm not trying to do that to you, you know, so.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, we're going to wrap it up, guys. That was very introspective. That was a great perspective on how, like Bagi, Rudy, did you guys have anything else to add to that before we wrap it up?
I mean, I'm just in agreement. Like, I just think, because when I was talking to Julian before, like, it's just, there's a time and a place.
Exactly.
A music venue is not a time and a place. Like, we're there to watch, like you're saying, we're there to watch the bands we love, the music we love to hear.
Yeah.
That's what we're there for. We're not there to hear about someone say fuck Trump or someone say fuck Biden. Like, we're not here to hear that. I'm here to hear this
preach
band.
preach the word of God for 20 minutes. It's
that
like,
too. Just like, it's like, no, we're here for the music. That's what we like. Like, just leave it at that. Don't bring your shit in. Just leave it at the door, and, you know, or fucking go do an errand, you know, go do a solo career, and then you can tour with other similar-minded people.
Yeah.
That's fine, too.
Yeah, I mean, just keep politics and religion out of music. But, see, I feel like I can't fully say that, though, because there are specific bands that I
definitely.
listen to, like...
Just don't overdo it at concerts.
Yeah, like, don't go on a rant about it. But, I mean, you could write music about it, I feel like. Because then at that point, your audience is specifically choosing to listen to that
Yeah.
specific type. Like one band that I want to talk about right now is like Behemoth. They're super like anti-religion and
Yeah.
shit, and that's literally what most of their fucking music is about.
Yeah.
And I mean, in a way, they kind of are pushing that agenda on us.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like when you're writing it as your music, you're more accepting of it, kind of in a way.
Yeah, it's
don't know.
more appropriate. So like when you're creating the art, you're expressing yourself through the art. There's
Yeah.
no real reason for you to get up on stage and express yourself through the art, and then guys, hold on, I want to
about
tell you about
this.
anti-religion, but we just heard you do 10
Yeah.
songs. We get the point. Now I can agree with you, I can disagree with you, but I'm still here to enjoy the music. Now I'm not gonna have the music. I'm gonna have you do a live, basically podcast telling me about your views. I know your views. I just heard the fucking songs. You know what I mean? So I do understand that. I think when it's appropriate is when it's just about the music. Like there are Christian bands I like. You know, there are bands like POD, like As Lay Dying, and I'm just gonna throw that out there. I don't listen to As Lay Dying anymore. But like as far as like the bands I've listened to that are Christian, like I don't necessarily like POD. For example, they have some Christian songs,
Yeah.
and then they have a lot of songs that aren't Christian that are just about like other stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those are bands that I enjoy. I'm like, oh, I like these songs, and I don't really agree with the Christian message, but they also have like Southtown, or they have like Alive, which anybody can listen to. Like you don't
sure.
have to be a Christian to listen to them. So those are bands I like. I just don't like it when they get like to the extreme, like we are a Christian band and every fucking songwriter is Christian, and you know. But
Yeah.
that's the art form, and they're playing to their audience. But when you try to push that agenda onto others in the audience, like that's not really cool, dude, because they don't have the
Yeah.
mic, they don't have the point to talk to you and have a conversation. You're just yelling at them and telling them what you think and how they should think. You know.
Yeah, like this is how you're supposed to live. Like I'm gonna push. This is all I'm doing. Just pushing these down your throat, whether you like it or not. Your opinion doesn't matter. It just, I hate how hypocritical a lot of them can be. Because like, oh, they want to spread love, like want to spread their message through love, but the amount of judgmental shit and the amount of hatred and bigotry that comes from stuff like that, like it hurts.
Yeah.
It really does hurt a lot because again, I have a lot of trauma from that religious life. And it's one of the main reasons why I left and why I will never go back because I've become, for me, mentally a much better person choosing not to believe in like, you know, God or Satan or the Bible or anything like that. It's made me happy. And I think it's made me a better person because I feel like if I stayed in that lifestyle, I feel like I could have ended up becoming like a John Cooper or like an Aaron Lewis and just not have respect for anyone else's beliefs. Like you can believe whatever you want to believe. You can believe whatever you want to believe, but just don't try to shove it in my face and tell me that my opinions are wrong because that in turn is going to probably make me do the same thing back, which is what I don't want to do. I don't want to argue. I want to have a simple just discussion, but it's just a lot of Christians, they try to say like, oh, we'll pray for you, like we'll pray for you. I'll think of you at our next church service, or you'll come back to God one day. I've heard you'll come back to God one day so many fucking times in my life that it makes me want to go back even less. Like I already didn't want to go back because fuck those people. But at the same time, it's like you are pushing me away even further. I'm
Yeah.
like, where do you think this started?
Yeah.
It's shit, man. There's so many good Christians out there. Like I can name a bunch of good Christian bands, but then again, a lot of the Christian bands I listen to, like they are Christian and they have Christian members, but they're not really a Christian band. Like Fit for a King, Devil Wears Prada, Memphis Mayfire, August Burns Red, bands like that, where they have Christian members, but they're not labeled as a Christian band. You guys
Yeah.
get what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
That was a great perspective on the whole frontman pushing agenda situation. We're gonna get into just album recommendations real quick. I know you guys probably don't have album recommendations.
Just listen to Mudshovel.
We got
Just
you.
Listen to Mudshovel.
Listen to Mudshovel. That's all you need.
Yeah.
The
That's
one
all you
song.
need.
The album Mudshovel. Listen to that one.
Mudshovel.
Julian, start it off. Do you have any album recommendations for Stained?
I can recommend their self-titled from 2011 because I told these guys before I have a show called Discography Check, which I talked about before, and Stained is the next episode, and I talk about my favorite and least favorite albums and stuff like that. But that album is my favorite album because they do ease into the heaviness a little bit, which actually kind of surprises me that we didn't see any stuff out of the self-title. I think Eyes
Yeah.
Wide Open would have fit. I think Paper Wings would have fit. Not Again would have fit, but that album specifically, especially like production, that's where the production started to get better. But Confessions of the Fallen was like, okay, much better production, and they're actually trying something different. But the subtitle, they're really leaning more towards the heavier stuff. Obviously, you're gonna have the softer stuff because it's fucking Stained, but it's decent nonetheless.
Gotcha. All right, and I guess I will drop in Break the Cycle. I'm gonna go basic with it. It's my personal favorite Stain. Well, Chapter 5 is
Basic
my
bitch.
favorite, but I
Basic
think
bitch.
Break the Cycle consistently has the most bangers. I think there's so many iconic Stain songs and songs like everyone's heard on the radio that come from that album. That if you're just getting into Stain, or maybe you heard a song on here that you're like, oh, I want to check them out, that is definitely the the album to check out.
Nice.
All right. So we are ready. We are good to go. We're skipping live experiences because Julian, you touched on live
I
experiences.
talked about that.
and we've never seen Stain live.
Yeah,
So-
never have.
Lucky.
So
Don't
that
plan.
was that. All right, guys. You guys can Julian kick it off. Let's drop some plugs. Where can our listeners find you?
You guys can find me on my only form of social media known to man, which is Instagram under the name HeavyMetalJoker_music. I am a music reviewer. I talk about all the newest albums coming out. I obviously have my series discography check where I review bands and talk about bands, listening to their entire discography based on your suggestions. And I do the occasional list videos every now and then. But yeah, Instagram is where you can find me, HeavyMetalJoker_music.
Sweet. Bagi, take it away.
You can follow me at slap_the bass.
Handy.
Find me on Instagram, metal_Jandro.
Rudy.
You can find me on Instagram as the one who knocks the O's or zeros and underscore after every word.
Got it. You guys can follow me at Anthony_7string. You guys can follow our band, Defy the Tyrants, at Defy the Tyrants. We have a new record coming out hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon.
One of these
Fingers
years.
crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Review coming out.
We have 2 singles out right now. Breakthrough. Well, I was gonna say Break the Light. We have
I
3.
said break the cycle.
we have 2 lead singles right now, Within My Darkness and Breakthrough, and an extra song we dropped with Breakthrough, also titled The Light. All songs are available right now to stream. We also just dropped a music video for Breakthrough, which is just us playing shows.
Yeah, just a little BTS kind of
Shows.
music video.
A little love. There's a lot of love in that video. A lot of love I found in the editing. We filmed, so we filmed it from 3 shows. The first show. The video is basically us making our triumphant return to Brick by Brick here in San Diego after coming back
Yes.
from Arizona. First time we played in Arizona in a long time and got to meet some awesome fans over there too, and that was a great time. And then also. So from a packed house to meeting fans to playing a backyard pool party in Las Vegas in 110-degree weather, and probably
Oh
one of
my
the
God.
best shows we've ever played, and it was
Yeah.
a blast.
That was a blast.
It was fun.
So that's available on YouTube right now, along with the music video for With My Darkness, along with a guitar playthrough Jandro and myself did for The Light. We have another single coming out, I think, towards the end of October, maybe early November. We're getting that one ready to go, and then probably with that song release, we'll be announcing the release date for the album. So lots of cool, fun stuff coming from the Defy the Tyrants camp towards the end of this year. You guys can follow Metallurgy at Metallurgy Podcast on Instagram.